Hmm.
Refinancing is a tool. It's need
Hmm.
to do it just because you think it's better to shorten the term, whatever it is, right? You
Yeah.
have to have net tangible benefit. It has to make sense to you. And if it doesn't make sense to you, stop. Don't be afraid to pump the brakes. Like I tell my clients, like I only want you to move forward because you understand what we're talking about and it makes financial sense for you, right? I'm not
Right.
gonna It's like I see so many people get so emotional and caught up in the moment, and then all of a sudden they refinance out of that situation. It blows my mind. Like, why would you give up your 2.5% interest rate in this particular circumstance? If you got no other choice other than foreclosing, selling your home, or refinancing, then yes, then you have to do it. Just to be clear, but it's literally if your own main goal is to pay off your house sooner and you already have a low interest rate and the person's telling you to take a higher interest rate to do
Hmm.
it, stop. Makes no sense at all.
Yeah,
Absolutely
that's a
not.
big one. Net tangible benefits, right? That's something
Mhm.
that's, yeah, you have to consider the big picture.
Be wise. Think about it.
Hmm.
As far as how much like house I can afford, we were well within the 25%. Kind of calculating it off of the
Great.
2.5% rate that we have.
Great.
But with rates now, I know we're not refinancing,
Hmm.
but that would obviously put us probably closer to the 30% mark. Do we
Yeah.
have?
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're fine. The reality is your house payment is a fourth of your take home pay at a 15-year on 2.5.
We qualify you up to 50% on conventional loans in some cases if there's
Hmm.
enough compensating factors to allow for it to happen, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's like you don't want to be house poor because that's like you're one mistake from losing everything and filing bankruptcy.
Yeah,
So
there's no cushion. Hmm.
you need to, if we do qualify someone up to 50% in most cases, there's a story behind it, right? It might be just one borrower on it, and then you have a dual income household, right? So it doesn't show the full picture looking at just the loan. So it's like I
Hmm.
see a lot. Like I'm still hung up on last week's video, like the fear mongering in those people. It's like just because you see a loan application and funded at 50%, that's income, doesn't mean it's the whole picture. Like my wife
Right.
could be working too, bringing in income, but I didn't put her in because her credit score is lower than mine, and
Right.
we got a much better
Right.
rate in my situation.
Hmm.
If I'm just, it's a hypothetical, so
Sure.
it
Of
doesn't
course.
make sense. But in this guy's case, though, for sure, don't mess with what you got because it's really good. And
Hmm.
then if you're only at a quarter of your net take home, it's like even less than that. So it's net. We're using
Yeah.
gross to qualify you for a mortgage, but if he's net a quarter, that is an ideal spot to be in. Because if he
Yeah, he
bought that
can
home
use that.
today
Hmm.
at the higher price with a higher rate, he would not be at a quarter of net.
No
That's
way.
There's no way. He
Yeah.
he can afford to pay more for eggs right now. He's got the cushion.
Or buy some Bitcoin.
Oh my God, not again. Yeah. I know you're happy right now. I saw where it went.
Yeah, not yet. I'm waiting for more.
Oh boy.
Reason we put that in place is not to keep people from buying homes. And John, people are really mad right now about
Because you hate home
house
ownership.
prices. Apparently, I hate home ownership, and I'm an unrealistic old boomer or whatever other terms of derision you can throw at my bald head. But I don't care if you get a house you can't afford. It doesn't affect me. It affects you if you buy a house you can't afford.
I'm
Jeff's
the
in good
Asian
shape. He's
Dave
not got any
Ramsey.
issues. But here's the thing, and I've been answering this question the same way for 30 years. Like we have people call us from California. Well, Dave, you can't buy a house in California for that. Uh, that means you can't buy
You
a
can't buy
house
a
in
house. That's right.
California for that. That's what that means.
It means you can't buy a house in California. Oh
It's
man,
crazy.
that's yeah,
It's
that's a
true
little
though.
little blunt. I didn't know Mr. Ramsey can get so blunt.
What do you mean? Have you never watched a full video of him? That's his whole personality. He's gonna like yell at you the whole way through. He's giving you the reality check that no one wants to give you.
That's funny. I don't really watch a lot of Dave Ramsey. I know about him, by reputation. But it means
I
you
mean,
can't own a
it's
house.
but it's like if you really look at it though, it's he's giving the people that are in a dire situation a reality check that no one else is going to give them, aside from
Hmm.
falling into the rabbit hole of like bankruptcy and everything that he fell into.
Yeah.
But aside from that, everything else seems to be.
Yeah, I mean, he's very conservative, right, when it comes to debt. This
He's
clip,
not that. He's
it
not fully against debt, though. By the way,
no, he's
he's
not.
not
No.
fully against debt. He's good with mortgages if you have a hefty down payment and you can afford a 15-year.
Hmm.
Just a lot of people can't do that.
No. I'm gonna skip over because he kind of illustrates this point more.
And so I'm sorry. I'm sorry that when I was a kid I couldn't live in Williamson County. I couldn't afford it. My family didn't make that kind of money. I'm sorry. I had a traumatized childhood. I'm sorry. But it's the way life is. And so, the answer is no. The reason you tell yourself no is so you can tell yourself yes later.
I like that a lot, actually.
Right? That's actually really good right there. Tell yourself
Yeah,
no so you can tell yourself yes later. It's delayed gratification, right?
absolutely. And a lot of social psychologists talk about how delayed gratification in children is like one of the best indicators of future success. So, to all the parents out there, you know, press upon your children the value of delayed gratification, especially in like this age of AI where instant gratification is going to be so much more accessible and easy. We still need to have those values instilled in us and model that for our kids, right? So like delayed gratification is huge, huge. All right, let's keep going.
And so you've got to break this cycle and not be angry at me or at the world or at Instagram or Twitter or whatever it is you're angry at this week, because house prices went up. I'm really sorry. I don't want you to be upset, and I don't want you to not have a house, but also don't want you to do something stupid that's going to keep you broke your whole life.
I'll throw a third one on there, Dave. I have found in my life when I've had a 30-year mortgage, and I've had a couple of those in the 15-year, I can have all the best intentions with a 30-year mortgage, but when it comes down to it, every single month, somebody invites me out to a thing. Or, hey, we're all going out to this thing.
Yeah.
And whether I've got the best intentions or I've got all the willpower in the world, it's really hard for me to double that payment or to make that gap payment between the 30-year note is requiring me to pay and what I could be paying for that 15-year. With the 15-year, I'm locked into it. I got to do it.
Life happens, right? So you might have a plan, and plans change, right? And we talked about delayed gratification. If you don't have that skill, you don't have that strong muscle of saying no to yourself, uh, this is the stuff that you fall into. Like I have this financial goal of paying off my mortgage in 15 years and saving hundreds, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars. But if you continue to overspend your budget on a monthly basis, then you can't do it, and you pay in the long run.
100%. It's about being disciplined with your finances, right? I see a lot of situations where people are in their homes and now not in the financial situation where they want to be, right? It's because life happens.